Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! Being a herpetophile, I used to keep and breed reptiles and amphibians. I don't just know how to take care of lizards and frogs, but I also know how to keep bugs. As if I can't keep big terrariums in my current home, I'm keeping 3 queen ants, and they give me the chance to build tiny terrariums and will provide good food for dendrobates in the future if I ever have a chance to keep those frogs again. Alesius Marginatus I caught 2 years ago, and 2, still unidentified, Camponotus queens I caught today while I was out for some grocery shopping, which is why I almost got arrested. I took a break to smoke a cigarette on a bench near a small park where I spotted 2 ants that looked like wingless queens looking for a nesting site after the nuptial flight. Most species lose the wings right after mating, before building a nest. The only thing I had to catch them was the clear plastic wrapping of my cigarette packs. I bought several packs, which, at least in my country, is often used also by drug dealers as bags to store doses. So I used 2 of those bags to catch those queens. And as if I had other things to do and I couldn't keep them there for too long, they need to be replaced in artificial nests as soon as possible. I went straight to the pharmacy to buy 2 test tubes for blood and urine samples. They are used as nests for small ant colonies. And some cotton. It's used to create a water storage on the bottom of test tubes and as a cork at the opening of the tube. It prevents the ants to escape but allows them to breathe. As soon as I got out of the pharmacy, still holding the bags with the ants, the test tubes and the cotton in my hands, I saw 2 cops waiting for me. Turned out they saw me walk into the pharmacy with 2 small clear bags in my hands and got suspicious. The first officer tells me, "Hello there. Would you mind explaining to us why you just bought cotton and needles?" They probably thought the test tube boxes contained syringes. Well, I'm a herpetophile. I also explained the meaning in details. And a few minutes ago, I caught 2 queen ants. Perfectly legal here, by the way. I needed test tubes and cotton to store them. The other cop is looking at the first one and laughing. That's the lamest excuse a junkie could use. I tell him, "Why? Are you an expert on making up excuses for being a junkie?" Yeah, I got real mad. But cops here are pretty arrogant and often lie on papers to justify illegitimate arrests, so I don't like them at all. "Oh, so you're a comedian too?" No, but considering how many jokes there are about cops, I expected you to have some sense of humor. Are you calling us buffoons? Do you want to get charged for insulting officers too? Instead of just for possession of drugs? Me showing them the bags with the drugs? First of all, as you can see, there aren't any drugs in those bags. Second, you can also see I didn't buy any needles, but 2 test tubes for blood samples, which, along with the 2 queen ants, should prove to you that I am not getting ready to get high. Third, feel free to check my backpack and the content of my pockets for anything illegal while I write to my lawyer. I am sure she will be happy to come here and assist me if needed. Last but not least, I wasn't calling you buffoons at all. Buffoons are supposed to have some sense of humor. Luckily, after they checked my backpack and my ID, they went away. I assume threatening to involve a lawyer kept them on the spot. So I got away with no consequences. This is a story from years ago when I provided on-site tech work in a niche market all over America. The work is good and pays well, but the traveling can be rough. As I put it, in some 100,000 miles, 160,000 kilometers a year by car. As I travel mostly by car during the summer, we pay reliable types to feed the cats and water the lawns and take the whole family on the road. My kids get to see much of America and parts of Canada and Mexico, and have a fantastic vacations while I get to travel and still have the company of my family after work. The trips normally last 3 to 4 months. These are great times. Unfortunately, during the winter, the kids have school and I get to be away on my own anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 months on a stretch. Some summers this happens too due to my family having other needs back in town. But then they sometimes travel with me for Christmas break too. At least my wife never has to hold down a job while I'm working this job. This story happens during one of those times that I am out of town and my beautiful wife is managing things at home. The setup. When we first move into this house, there is a great family that lives across the street from us. They are very respectful and just really great neighbors. They are upper middle class Latinos. They own a bar. They have fixed up their house in some very nice ways, including a wrought iron fence around the yard. Much better than a chain link fence around ours. They have several nice cars, more than they can fit in their driveway. There are always 2 cars parked on the street in front of their house. But they also have a problem. For whatever reason, someone in the local constabulary just cannot accept that a Latino business owner of a bar can make this kind of money without also dealing drugs. Every month, the police swoop in with warrants and drug-sniffing dogs and spend hours going through their house and cars with fine-toothed combs. Every month, they leave empty-handed and no arrests, no tickets, no infractions, nothing. Every month, the neighbors come over to apologize for any disturbance this inspection causes us. They are mortified every time it happens. Every month, we tell them not to worry about it. We always reassure them that this is more about the police than it does about them. Believe me, if they have been doing anything at all, they would already have been caught. They appreciate our support and, as my wife and children are also Latinos, we are glad to give it. Finally, they've had enough of it. They sell the bar and the house and move to a smaller town in another state with a larger Latino population and open a new bar there. I wish them well. There follows a string of much lower class Latinos in their old house. None of them live there for very long. I suspect there may be a landlord behind some of this. Some of them are genuinely nice people. We give 2 broken down vehicles to one fellow who is renting a room in the basement. I decide I'm never going to get the time to swap parts between them to come up with a functioning vehicle, which had been the original plan. He is able to rebuild a single working vehicle and now can travel out of town for work. My only price is that he tows off what he doesn't use. And this, he does. Good guy. The Macho Rooster. Then comes a day the Macho Rooster moves in. And he lives there for a long time. He's the owner of the house. This makes him a somebody. And somebodies are an entitled thing to be. He struts about in nice clothes and bling. This is his domain. He has declared himself emperor of the street. And any who challenge it will rue the day. Almost immediately we start having trouble with him and his family parking in our driveway or in front of the mailbox. If the mailbox is blocked, the post won't be delivered. My beautiful wife will take the kids to school or pick them up and come home to find she has to park on the street. This rubs her all kinds of wrong. But leaving nasty grams on the windshield is not improving things at all. If they get a shot at our driveway, they take it. Weekends are even more fun. Not only is the entire street filled with cars related to his house, but the party and the music is playing so loud, all of our windows shake, including the ones in the back of the house. If that is not bad enough, it keeps up until 3 or 4 or even 5 in the morning. He has bullied many of the neighbors with his macho postering. They won't call the police with a noise complaint out of fear. We call, and they turn it up even louder after the police leave. Yeah, he's a real class act, this one. The event. So this day my beautiful wife returns from picking up the kids from school and their car is in our driveway. What's different this time is a young lady sitting in the car waiting for something or someone. Beautiful wife parks on the street, gets the kids in the house, and then comes out to have a chat with a young lady. It goes something like this, translated from Spanish and as related to me by my wife. My beautiful wife says, "Excuse me, I'm going to need you to move your car out of my property. You have no permission to park here." The young lady says, "Excuse me? My uncle said I could park here, so you can just get lost." "Your uncle doesn't own this driveway. He can't give you permission to park in my driveway. That's not how it works." "He said I can park here. I can park here." She then gets out, locks the car and walks across the street. My beautiful wife calls after her, "I can have you towed, you know." "You wouldn't dare." Little does she know, my beautiful wife. Not only does she dare, she has almost done it several times already, but wanted to give them a chance to be warned. Well, now they have been warned. But before she calls a tow truck, my beautiful wife has a feeling this may escalate. She calls the non-emergency police line and lets them know the issue she's having with our neighbors. When they get the address, they actually say, "Oh, them." She's looking for a number for a towing company. Remember the good old days when we used yellow pages for things like this? When there is a knock at the door, it's Macho Rooster, and he's huffing and puffing. My beautiful wife is fearless. She opens the door and confronts him. "How dare you tell my niece she can't park here? I told her she could." "What makes you think that matters? You can't give permission to anyone to park on my property." Macho Rooster puffs up his chest more. "Look, little lady, you obviously don't know who you're talking to. I can say, and if I say, I can say it. And if I say it, it happens." My wife laughs. He's actually shorter than her. "Look, little man, that macho crap doesn't fly here. Maybe where you are from, you're a big deal and that crap works. But where I come from, the men are afraid of the women, not the other way around. We know what rolling pins are good for, and we are not afraid to use them. I have a nice marble one here. Would you like to see it?" This obviously did not suit Macho at all. He starts puttering nearly incomprehensible bits of phrases that include some snippets like, "How dare you? And nobody talks to me like this," and so on. But mostly just puttering like an old car with gas in the carburetor. Now at this point, my beautiful wife takes a stance that is quick reaction away from demonstrating a beautiful soccer kick to Macho's low-hanging fruit. As she can see, he's about to use something other than his words to get his point across, and she is ready to defend herself. But she can see something he, in his puttering rage, cannot, and that is a police car that has just pulled up behind his niece's car. So as Macho's fist raises over his head to beat her into submission, she decides it is worth playing the poor victim and taking the hit. Instead of striking the first blow, she cowers just a little and cries, and tries not to laugh while doing it. To her amazement, the blow never lands. Officer Friendly breaks the speed of light when he sees the fist go up. He's out of his car, over the hood, over the chain link fence, and has Macho's fist in his grip before it can take the swing at her. Very shortly thereafter, Macho is shown a new kind of bling, a set of nice silver bracelets. He is placed in the back of a cruiser. Other police have now arrived. Beautiful wife is the perfect little victim, and she's so afraid of him and what he could do to her and her kids. Her being here home all alone while her husband is traveling for work. She believes her performance is Oscar-worthy. Doubtful, but it's good enough for the intended audience. The niece is forced to move her car off our property. Macho is not seen in the neighborhood for nearly a week. There are some apparently complicating issues that make this much worse for him, but the police are not free to disclose. We really don't care. The aftermath. For the rest of the time he lives across the street from us, Macho never acknowledges our existence again. He also never allows any of his people to park in our driveway, in front of our mailbox, or anywhere in front of our property. We only have one more all-night music Friday night. But the first visit from the police results in the music going off permanently. Yeah, we call the complaint in. Under his ownership, the house is not properly maintained. It eventually falls into disrepair and he sells it. I suspect to buy another one to run down. It's the opposite to flipping homes. My beautiful wife is the winner by default. A macho rooster didn't even qualify for the match. This is a story of my dad. Some 30 years ago, the police stopped him for a minor traffic violation, which meant a fine of 20 bucks. He pulled out his wallet and wanted to give the policeman a bill, settling the score on the spot. The policeman, however, was petty about my dad's do-not-care attitude and told him he won't take the money and he'd have to transfer it via bank account, just to make some extra bureaucracy for him. Mind you, this was back in a time before internet banking, i.e., my dad had to go to the bank to order the transfer. Cue malicious compliance. A transfer had a fee of 19 cents, so my dad sent him $19.81 instead of the 20, as the fine is 20 and shouldn't be $20.19. Their computer system could not process this, as the amount was not correct and sent the money back automatically. A few days later, he received a payment reminder. He politely answered that he already made the transfer, minus the cost of the transfer fee, as he could have paid in cash, but the policeman did not want the money. He then sent him $19.14, the 20 minus twice the packing fee and minus the cost for the stamp. Of course, the automatic system sent the money right back again, as it was not the specified amount. The next reminder was answered by his lawyer, who explained to them that he thinks my dad has a legal high ground. They paid it again, this time below 18. The money was transferred back again and the police actually let the case rest, saying that it won't go anywhere and that fixing the booking software to not send the money back would be too expensive. Note: probably wouldn't have worked if the lawyer wasn't a good family friend who thought the story hilarious and pitched in despite the really small amount. So this may not be exactly direct compliance, but a recent comment on a post reminded me of this one, and it might go here. Ages ago, way back last century, I went to purchase life insurance for my small, young family. For me, the breadwinner for obvious reasons, for my wife, the stay-at-home mom because if something happened to her, even after I got over my devastation, I'd need to figure out childcare and so on. And for both my girls, because they were little and permanent life insurance for little people can be insanely cheap and very useful if they developed chronic conditions later. Applied for the policies and wait, crickets. Finally, 3 policies show up. Everybody except me gets a policy. Wait. Oh, there it is. My policy came about 2 weeks later, except they have decided I'm high risk for some reason. No explanation, no nothing. Just an extra $75 a month on top of a $24 a month policy. Time to call the agent. Well, it turns out that you've had too many speeding tickets. Oh really? I had no idea that not having a radar detector decreased my life expectancy. Well, statistics show that blah blah blah. Okay, but I have done the math, and I don't play these odds. Well, you have 30 days to think about it, but meanwhile, at least the rest of your family is protected. Oh, about that, I understand that you've done your math about me and speeding tickets, but you obviously haven't carefully considered all the ramifications of that. These other 3 people ride with me driving all the time, so I can't let you insure them because I'd feel really bad for you guys if something happened and you had to pay out. Let me talk to the underwriter and get back to you. A couple of days later, well, since a ticket that put you over the limit will be off your record in 3 months, we've decided to waive the surcharge. Yeah, whatever, dude. Anyway, kiddos, remember that everything really is negotiable. And keep careful track of where you have leverage so you can pull it out and use it as needed. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.